Bro, I can't do this right now. No. Okay,
welcome to Stark Radio. We just started.
we have Tom in the background. Everyone say hi to Tom.
Yes.
Our executive producer, Tom Hiddleston.
Of course.
I was just about to say something. I look at my phone and someone sent me a message. And my friend just said, go into that meeting with Loki levels of confidence.
As your friend should, yes.
Yes, that's a true sign of friendship. So thank you, Nick, for sending that message. But hello, everyone. Welcome to the Loki After Party. This is the show where you can call in with your reactions, your theories, your questions, your thoughts on everything happening in the world of Loki. And Ro and I are here to talk about it, to answer your questions if we can, to theorize with you. And something that, we've seen a lot lately in the TikTok community is negativity, and especially towards female content creators. A lot of patronizing comments around theories around Loki and opinions around Loki. So let's just start the show by making it very clear that there is no space for that here. If you have thoughts and theories that you want to talk about, we are your friends. Send them to us. This is a safe space to chat and just feel like you have a community to enjoy the show with. There's no space for that kind of negativity here on Stark Radio.
Exactly. There is no space for that. Even if you want to share, like the most random theory, you can
Every theory is a great theory to talk about here on Stark Radio. Yeah. And speaking of theories, we have a lot to dig into today. I was on TikTok Live yesterday. So many people wanted to talk about King Loki and our theories that we started talking about last episode. Ro, I know that you are kind of the captain of the King Loki ship, we will talk about that later in the episode, and I'll defer to you to kind of lead us through what's happening with that. First thing I want to do is talk about the 3 predictions we made in the first episode of this series. So we left last week with 3 major predictions for the series. One being that Loki will trigger the multiverse of madness. A second, that King Loki and variant Loki will meet in Asgard and potentially fight. And the third being that at some point in the series, we're going to get a super kick-ass Loki fight scene where it's just many Lokis all fighting each other of the style of Taylor Swift's Look What You Made Me Do music video. Based on what we thought last week, watching this week's episode, how accurate do you think we are? And are we way off base, or do you think we're in the right direction for this show?
I don't think we are wrong. I think we are in the right direction, actually. I believe, I can definitely see and seeing, like someone say on my TikTok yesterday, I can definitely see a scene where all the Lokis fight against the TVA. And I was like, yeah, we love to see that.
Exactly. The multiverse of madness theory is probably the one that is the most expected and maybe the most talked about. So why don't we start there briefly, and we have a graphic from the episode. I mean, if this doesn't signify that the multiverse of madness has begun.
It's happening everywhere, like even in Sakar.
Right? This list of places, and I know there's more screenshots out there that list more cities than what this one does, but I mean, they're on Ego. That's bringing in the Guardians of the Galaxy folks. Yeah. They've hit just about every single civilization that we have seen throughout the entire MCU. So, I mean, this is like a intergalactic battle of a situation.
Yeah, and I read a small theory about one of the places is in the screenshot that you just show, is New York in 1947. And someone say, what if it's something related with Steve Rogers? Peggy.
Bro, I can't do this right now. No. Okay,
welcome to Stark Radio. We just started.
Oh my God. So we saw Peggy Carter in episode 1 get ushered into the TVA in the background.
Well, yeah, supposed to be.
Supposedly Peggy Carter. So could that be a connection? As soon as you said Steve Rogers, my mind went to the What If series that's coming out in August. And we know that one of the storylines that we're going to see in that series is around Bucky Barnes, of course, and like what would happen if Bucky Barnes didn't die. Maybe this is going to affect Bucky's recruitment into the military, and maybe there'll be something there. Who knows?
We also have an episode of Peggy.
Yes, we do have an episode of Peggy. So what if this whole multiverse situation is going to feed into like a bunch of different scenarios for the What If series? And maybe that's the connection here.
Exactly. It will be fantastic. It will be like these small, places that we are seeing. We are going to see everything in What If. Because I think What If, it's at the end of the day, it's a multiverse as well.
Yes.
Also, another theory that I read is like the Sakaar one is what if, the Grandmaster, like the year, it probably could be like when the Grandmaster take over Sakaar. Maybe what if he didn't,
I am here for anything that involves bringing back the Grandmaster.
Of course.
This is the energy that I am requesting.
We have him back in Thor: Love and Thunder, so no worries.
Thank God. Thank God. Honestly, the most underrated character in the MCU, I think. I could do an entire miniseries of just the backstory of the Grandmaster, because I think it would be...
We should do a Grandmaster after party one day. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's plan it for future. When Thor: Love and Thunder comes out, we'll do an entire Grandmaster. You know how last time we were saying we're the Owen Wilson fan club? Well, this week we are the Grandmaster fan club. Welcome. But another big theory that everyone's going back and forth about right now is the Enchantress versus Lady Loki theories. I know that you have a very strong take on this, and also you watched the show in Spanish, so you were one of those folks that caught that leak pretty early.
Yes, just when I watched the episode. First of all, we need to focus that either if it's Lady Loki or the Enchantress, it's not Enchantress. The Enchantress is Amora. Right. The Enchantress. So that's the original one. We have here the question that is she Lady Loki, or is it like Sylvie Lashton?
Mm-hmm.
Sylvie Lashton is a girl in the comics. It's a girl who basically Loki one day decides to give her powers. It's the creation of Loki. And she decides to act and dress like the Enchantress.
Okay.
So that's a difference. So when I see people saying, the Enchantress, no. The Enchantress is Amora. It's different. It's friends of Loki. So, basically, when I watched the episode at the end of the episode, in the credits, we have these credits that appears like the voices of the actors who dubbed the original version, and in the cast list appear Sylvie.
So we also see Sylvie's name appear as Loki is doing his stealthy research in the library.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's interesting. The name is Sylvie Lofty-Dottir. That's basically means the daughter of Luffy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Loki song and Luffy song and Lofty-Dottir. So song of Luffy and daughter of Luffy. That could lead potentially to the theory that they are brother and sisters.
There's so many questions, and we know that Loki is now like running after her and on the hunt. My prediction, and I am happy to be wrong, but my theory is that the next episode is going to basically be an hour-long chase sequence between Loki and Sylvie that eventually leads to King Loki, and that's the cliffhanger heading into episode 4.
Yes, I would love to see that. It's kind of Catch Me If You Can, no? Kind of vibe, Catch Me If You Can. That ending was Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, 100%. We know that Loki knows that these variants of himself are perhaps more powerful than he is, and he has to kind of come into himself in order to beat them. So it's like, I feel like knowing the stakes of the show are so clear now in comparison to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where that didn't really emerge until like the last 2 episodes. I feel like the show's going to be so fun to watch now because, like, okay, we know what we're up against. We're all on the same page. We know that the Infinity Stones don't matter. We know that, like, this is how the characters are set up. So now it's like, just run, like, run with it and see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, like, the level right now is so high. Like, the ending of that episode for me was like an ending of a season, and it was like just episode 2.
It was just episode 2. And when you heard the reviews of the show and the interviews, the cast and the director and the writers say that, Loki gets good episode 4 and 5, and like that's when those are the best episodes. And I'm sitting here going, but I loved these 2 episodes. So, like, what does that mean? Like,
exactly.
What are we in for?
Exactly. I'm like, what is coming for us? Like.
Speaking of what's coming for us, let's enter the get help sequence of our show. I thought we were done with Loki crying. I thought we were done with Loki crying. I mean, we had this in episode 1, and I was like, all right, we got the Tom Hiddleston crying sequence. Like, I'm good. I never need to see that again. Yeah. And then, he's sitting in the library, he's going through the files, and I don't actually have a photo of the moment he teared up, but when he's going through the files about Ragnarok and they did the zoom in of just his eyes, I was like, who do I need to file a complaint with about this? Because I didn't sign up for
Tom
another.
Hiddleston.
Turn around. There he is behind you. Listen to me, Tom Hiddleston. You have to stop this.
Oh my gosh. The acting is just amazing. It's the way that they just, show his eyes and he's like, yeah, I'm going to cry now. Yeah. And especially with Ragnarok, like he's reading the fact that, his family, his people, they're dead.
The editing of that scene, I don't know who edited this episode, but I thought it was brilliant, the way that they included the flashbacks and the Asgard as a people, not a place, and it was heart-wrenching, especially if you're Ragnarok fans like we are. It was so gut-wrenching to watch that back and be like, okay, you know what? I've been living through this pain for how many years has the movie been out for, and you're gonna throw it all back in my face again?
2017, I think.
So about 4 years now or so. And just hit it with me again, Marvels, if I hadn't already been that upset. Tom Hiddleston deserves so much more credit for what he's doing with this show.
Yes.
I think that, as an audience, something that we maybe weren't prepared for is the fact that we have to throw the Loki we know out the window, and that the Loki we're watching now is not the Loki that we've loved for the majority of his time in the Marvel universe. We're going back to square one Loki that was trying to take over New York, and it's Tom Hiddleston has had to completely, if you think of his sacred timeline as Loki, he had to go all the way back to the beginning and branch off a whole new character development based on his performance how many years ago when that movie came out. And I see a lot of people online complaining that this Loki doesn't fit the canon of who Loki is. And it's kind of it's not supposed to, because this is a whole new Loki based on, before he had any arc. And that was the whole point of episode 1, was to show that this is a separate character development. We're back to where we were years ago.
Exactly, absolutely agree. And the fact that one of the main films that Loki is in, and he's the main character, he was brainwashed. Mm-hmm. So we don't really know about the real Loki. We only know the Loki from the first film. Yep. And that's the second part that we see that Loki is now, is this Loki.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely see, that thing of going back, create another character development. And I absolutely love it. I don't understand why people hate that. There are a lot of people saying it's out of character. No, you don't know that Loki.
I think that Tom Hiddleston deserves a lot of respect for being able to undo years of work. He put not just the times when the movie came out, but this entire 11 years that he's been Loki, he's been reading the scripts and working with the writers and working with the directors to build this character. And for him to be able to go back so expertly and rediscover the Loki he had built at that time and restart this entire process and make it as genuine and also as reinventive as he had, like, that is a Herculean task. That's not easy.
Exactly. And not only that, like, if we see more variants of Loki played by him, they're going to be different. It's not going to be the same Loki.
So he has to think of how this Loki could be in so many different mindsets. And speaking of that, let's talk about some of the variants that we saw in this episode, because I think this is one of the most underrated moments of the episode, when we got this very quick sequence of the various Lokis that the TVA has encountered over time. We have 4 of the screenshots to show. So why don't we look at each of these and, you know, like, out of 10, how much do we want to see more of this character?
Okay.
Starting with, this is supposed to be Lance Armstrong Loki, and Kate Herron tweeted earlier today that this was a pitch from some of the creative editors or the creative team at Marvel to do a Lance Armstrong themed Loki variant, which I think is very interesting.
Love that. And the fact that photo is a real photo, like Tom Hiddleston is from Sydney. That photo is from Sydney, from the set of Thor Ragnarok.
Stop. Oh my God. I thought that was an actual photo of Lance Armstrong that they photoshopped. Oh my God.
So I would love to see that Lance Armstrong. Like, I will give him like 8 out of 10.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because I want to see Tom Hiddleston do a race. I want to see Tom Hiddleston own up to the challenge of being one of the best athletes in the world.
Yes.
I would like to see it. So therefore, let's get this actioned by Marvel immediately.
Yeah, definitely. Let's pitch it.
All right. You and I will make it happen. We'll just put Tom in a race and see what goes down. Here's the next one. We have this Jotunheim-looking Loki.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 from Ro. This is giving me major Avatar vibes. I understand this is not Avatar Loki. This is Jotunheim Loki. However, to me, this is Avatar Loki. And for that, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I would like to see Loki cast in the next Avatar movie.
Yes, please. Jotun Loki.
Let's also talk about the costume on this one, because I think
it's amazing.
It slaps.
Yeah.
It slaps. I would like to see somebody recreate this at like a Comic-Con or something. I'm sure people will.
Yeah, definitely.
The other take on this is Smurf Loki.
Oh,
you have Papa Smurf, Mama Smurf. You could have Loki Smurf. So perhaps we're in for a Smurf moment. Just Photoshop a little Smurf hat onto him and he's good to go.
Yes, definitely.
The hair is giving me major Elf from Lord of the Rings vibe.
Totally.
Orlando Bloom.
Thranduil or something like that. Yeah, definitely.
So 10 out of 10 all around. Any of these variations, I don't care which of the theories I just put out, I would watch any of them. But I mean, if you put Orlando Bloom and Tom Hiddleston in a mystical themed movie together, I would buy out the theater to watch it myself.
Everything that Tom Hiddleston does.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, then we have this. I don't know what this is.
Is he like having like a grass like in the cave?
It looks like it. I mean, if we're gonna stay with the Lord of the Rings vibe, like I'm getting Hobbit hole vibes from this outfit.
Yeah, kind of dwarf as well a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, very much a dwarf vibe, especially the helmet situation.
Yeah, definitely.
It almost looks like it could be a Groot head.
Yes.
So maybe this is like Groot Loki.
Yeah, exactly. I will give him like 7 out of 10 just because I'm curious to see.
You're curious? I like that. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 6 just because I have too many questions and not enough answers. And certainly not. I mean, when you go back to this photo.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, exactly. But the other one.
This is a Loki to write fan fiction about. And this is a Loki to try not to dream about at night.
The Jotun Loki is the mysterious Loki that you see in fan fiction. You know, like he's mysterious. He doesn't talk. He looks at you, and you know, kind of that.
100%. Yes, I agree. Oh my God. Okay, I think we have one more.
I call this the Hulk Loki.
Yeah. Slight Wolverine vibes.
Yeah. Does he have like black nails?
It looks like he has black nails, and it's like he has tufts of fur all over him.
Yeah.
I wonder if you were to look back on Loki mythology, if any of these connect to any kind of mythological versions of Loki, but I have no idea. However, I like the pants.
Yes.
The pants are a vibe.
Yeah. Tom Hiddleston pants, I'm sure. Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston has those in his closet.
Probably, yeah.
He's giving you runway. He's giving you hot girl summer.
Like he's giving me the love child between Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I'm here for it. Absolutely.
You know Chris Hemsworth in this photo of Love and Thunder? Yeah.
100%. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm here for it. That's, yes, a vibe. The other piece of this that I want to talk about quickly is just how many horn variations we're seeing. So we've got a curly moment, and then we have this kind of, you know, it looks more like a battle wear or armor style horn here. Yeah. And then you have no horns in these versions. So definitely something to
it's
consider.
Kind of like the comics, you know, like the comics, they have different horns. So
I do like how they brought that in.
Yeah, I love that.
So why don't we move on to hearing from some of you and some of the amazing voice messages that you left for this episode. Again, thank you so much to everyone who calls in and leaves their reactions. It's really easy to phone in and leave your reactions for the show. There's a link in my bio. You just click on it. You can record up to a minute, and then all you have to do is leave an email, and it will send directly to us, and then we can play it on the show. So we had some returning calls this week, which I was very pleased about. And then we have some new voices tuning in. So the first message is from Eric. Eric, we started with you last week. We'll start with you again this week. This is what Eric had to say.
So, of course, I love the first episode. You know, it's the setup. It gets everything moving. But this episode, wow, episode 2, this is the show now. Now it's the show. Now we know how things are going to be rolling. I love the chemistry between Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson even more. They're so fun to watch. They're so interesting. That ending was crazy. It was very intense. I'm sure a lot of us really called Lady Loki early, but it was still awesome to see. I'm now very interested to see where things go with the next episode with how everything ended. The stakes are so high in this show. It's super intense. I feel like the stakes are even higher in this show than they were in the past couple shows. Really interested to see how things are going to end up. Let me know what y'all think of Lady Loki's look. I thought she looked awesome. Take care, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
So let's start with the last thing Eric mentioned, which is Lady Loki's look. Yeah. I loved it. As soon as I saw that she was a blonde, I immediately started brainstorming. I was like, okay, first I need to chop my hair. Then I need to go to my local costume store and be like, I need everything green you own, especially capes.
I love that.
What did you think?
I absolutely love I'm not sure if it's Lady Loki, not sure about that, but the only thing that I like, I was like looking at her and saying, this is perfect, is the horns.
Yeah.
Because Lady Loki in the comics, she has only one horn. Mm-hmm. Just like her. I was like, this is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love to see the whole costume, you know, like.
Yeah, we didn't really get a great shot.
No, we had like this red light. We didn't see the whole
I need a full like pan in perfect daylight. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I need a full 360 moment. No, I thought it was, I loved the comic accuracy. I know there's a ton of people that have done videos around like, this is her in the comics and this is her in the show, which is awesome. I also just like, it's just so cliche to say, but I loved the vibes. I just loved the vibes. Like she was owning the fact that like, no, this is what I'm doing. Do not call me Loki. I don't give a shit about you or the TVA. Like, this is what I'm up to. I'm bombing the timeline and I'm out. You know?
Yeah,
I just loved it.
She looks at him and she does like, bye. I'm like, Yes, yes.
Oh my.
Yes, I stand you now.
Yeah.
I love her. Like, she's a badass.
We have to take a moment and just thank Marvel for all the powerhouse female villains that we're getting in Phase 4. Falcon and the Winter Soldier delivered 100%. WandaVision delivered and set the tone 1,000%. And then you're going to bring in someone, I mean, we were not confirming who she is or is not yet, but you're going to bring this character in all of her glory, all of her glorious purpose, or not glorious purpose if she's not Loki, to just come in and be this self-assured shit disturber. I love it.
But you know, like, how important this is for someone who is younger, like a kid or something, like a little girl or something, like watching these people.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just...
And we heard this week that She-Hulk villain got cast. Jamila Jamil is going to be coming into that show. So we know that we have even more women coming into the MCU in these roles, which I think is so fun. But now all I want is an all-female villain power alliance of sorts.
Fantastic.
You know the scene in Wreck-It Ralph when all the Disney princesses come together? I need that, but it's all these Marvel villain ladies just like coming together or causing shit disturbing together. Like, that's my new dream for Phase 4.
Yes, I would love that. Listen,
and then I want Bucky to find them all and say, carry on. Carry on. It's fine.
Well, Bucky no, but Simo, like a villain or something, or even Loki, like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But I would love that. Let's pitch that to Marvel.
Let's pitch it. I want to see it. Even if it's just like they have weekly phone calls where they like update each other. Like, I would love nothing more.
Exactly. Just update. You know.
We also this week got photos from the set of Thor: Love and Thunder of Miss Natalie Portman, ready to go, looking bomb. And we had some photos come out of, what her character is going to be looking like. I know you have a lot of theories around what's happening with Thor: Love and Thunder, so why don't you share some of your thoughts on this?
I saw like a theory that is very interesting about the Love and Thunder, because we know that the hammer, Steve took it with him. So how now Jane has the hammer? Like, why does she have the hammer? The theory that I read is that now the multiverse of madness happened.
Yep.
Jane is from another timeline where she's Mighty Thor.
Yeah.
And that's how, So,
I love that theory so much. I would love to see it.
It could pick it up from Thor: The Dark World, because he has to return the hammer in Thor: The Dark World, and she's there. She's in Asgard, so it could happen there.
I'd love to see it.
I would love to see it. I cannot wait for that film.
I would not say she's been the perfect character over time. I definitely think that she's another woman in Marvel that suffered from some less than great writing. However, a woman in STEM, we love to see it. We love to see a strong woman in STEM representation on screen. And for her to go from that to this new kind of all-powerful being, I love it. I'm so here for it.
The thing is, like, that's the character development of Jane. Jane it was written, like as a romantic, love interest thing. But now we have the opportunity that she can become a badass. Like, she doesn't need Thor. She's Mighty Thor. Taika Waititi writing that he writes women very well. Yeah. Come on. We can have that. Let's give an opportunity. The same thing that people hate Darcy Lewis in Thor. Now they love her in WandaVision because it's the writing and characters developments and everything. Let's give an opportunity.
Yeah, and I think that we as an audience deserve to see Jane without Thor. Obviously, she's in Thor: Love and Thunder, so Thor will be around in whatever capacities they're together. However, we deserve to see that character without a dependency on Thor or without her life revolving around him, because she's this like brilliant scientist first who's doing groundbreaking research. She does not need a man, let alone this god with issues around destroying and ruling over realms. Like she is powerful in her own being. So I cannot wait to see.
And the thing is, Natalie Portman, rumors say that she didn't want to come back to Marvel because of, the writing of Jane. Like she was the first one who didn't like that. But then she had a meeting with Taika Waititi, and Taika Waititi told her all that he wanted to do. And she said yes. So let's trust that.
Let's trust it. Thank you, Taika.
Yes, thank you.
We know Multiverse of Madness obviously is coming with Doctor Strange and Wanda. This week there was this kind of theorized leak that came out from an interview with Tom Hiddleston where he said he was filming as Loki on his birthday, which is February 9th, which implies that he was filming Multiverse of Madness and not the Loki series, which implies that Loki's in Multiverse of Madness. So if we're thinking about all of these powerful magical beings coming together, I also see Jane as part of that equation if she's Mighty Thor. So if that's the case, I mean, hello, Multiverse of Madness. I need to see this movie today. I don't care if you're not done filming. Let me onto set. Let me read the script.
Yes, I would love to see that. I know that a lot of people will get very upset because it will be Mighty Thor and not Thor, but we'd love to see that.
Every week we get more and more information or leaks, or we get further in the Loki show, and it feels like Multiverse of Madness is going to become the new show in phase 4 that brings all of the stories together, the same way we had the Avengers or we had the Captain America movies like Civil War that brought people together. I feel like Doctor Strange is going to become that new kind of cornerstone.
Kind of Avengers, we are getting ready for this film.
Yeah.
Like WandaVision, Loki, all for this film. Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel the same.
The other piece of Eric's message that I want to make sure we touch on is how Mobius and Loki's relationship developed in episode 2. And we had some absolutely fantastic moments, including obviously the scene, which was incredible.
I also really love him. Like, listen, I watched the episode and then I watched it with my mom, and my mom fell in love with him. She was like, when Loki betrayed Mobius, my mom was so mad. I was like, relax. But yeah, it's like he became my new comfort character.
Yeah.
Like he's just want to, like, he's me. He's me. If I was in the show, I would also like to protect Loki and, give him an opportunity.
He's kind of a character that speaks for the fans, and the fans can see themselves. And especially in episode 1, when you think about how hard he was questioning Loki, I was like, oh, this feels very cathartic for all of us that have been asking these questions for years.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he's the only person who sat down with Loki and say, what's wrong with you? No one did that before. Mm-hmm. So I think he's a great character. Now in the 3rd episode, he's going to be in trouble.
There's a lot of talk around the TVA the ulterior motives of the TVA. And we saw Loki kind of dig into that in his questioning of the TVA in this episode. Somebody in my live, and I wish I had their username, but somebody very